Yeah, hi. Welcome to Joe and Cole versus the World. I think the name is. We're taking a second take already because Cole is a pussy. Um,
And I'm Cole, the co-host, and you're also the co-host. We're equal hosts.
we are equal opportunity degenerates.
Yes. So, Joe, what are the topics for today?
Something about scrapped projects. We also have movies that we've seen. I have seen very few recently, and some games. Let's do. What games you been playing?
You're clapping, and all I see is just red
Yeah,
here.
and
You are just destroying the mic.
we can turn it
do
down.
not clap, Joe.
All right.
Do not clap.
I'll just
Okay.
start pounding the table instead. All right, I'll do that.
That's even worse, buddy. All right. So, I consider myself a filmmaker. Joe, what do you consider yourself? A degenerate. Okay.
Okay, right, sure, yeah, fine. We'll go with that one.
What do you actually consider yourself?
I don't know. We haven't really figured that out yet. We being me, even though I'm not a communist.
I'm sorry.
Well, I said we, and I was referring to myself. So I figure, for anybody who may or may not be listening to this, which I hope is nobody.
God only hopes. Hello, future employers.
Okay, let's get back on the show
so,
here.
You do like models for like your little board game things.
Yeah.
That felt so condescending.
It did. Sure, yeah. That's a thing I do. When did I start that up? I don't know, probably seventh grade, middle school.
Why'd you start it?
It just looked cool. And I always wanted to get into it because the big thing I was into is 40K, this crazy, super over-the-top sci-fi universe.
Is that Warhammer?
Yeah, that's Warhammer.
Okay.
That's the Games Workshop does that. And my brothers, when they were younger, just about at the same age I was into it, were also super into it as well.
Okay.
And I received a lot of their hand-me-down models or whatever that they didn't end up selling or whatever. And I just had that collection that I was never really able to use. So finally, I got a job, and at first spent my money very recklessly on only models.
Of course, as one does.
And then I have like a huge there are people that have way bigger collections than me.
Yeah.
But I got a pretty decent thing where I can finally be like, all right, I can play the game. None of my models will ever be painted, because that's the thing you do. Because, like, the first thing, you get a kit, right?
I'm being unprofessional. My phone is just going off like crazy.
Well, turn your phone off,
All
idiot.
right. Sorry, carry on. I apologize.
Jesus
Joseph,
Christ.
carry on.
Okay. So, the sort of steps are, usually they have a starter kit for the rules and everything.
Okay.
So I have, like, a few of those just to get a decent bit of models out of those as well. And they have a nice bit of starting materials. Mm-hmm. You get these in plastic sprues, or sometimes they'll already be, depending on how they're made, they might be separated parts already.
Okay.
And you'll clip them out, or maybe not have to, get some super glue, model glue, whatever works, build them, and then the natural progression is you paint them up so that they look even prettier. I don't do that, though, because...
They're so small. How do you paint them?
I don't know, ask my brother. He got back into like the whole painting aspect of it.
Okay.
And yeah, both of my brothers are actually pretty good at it. And when I do paint them, they aren't the greatest, of course, but they're enough to satisfy me. Mm-hmm. You just got to be, and I got really shaky hands, so it's riggedy.
I see.
But
I see.
a lot of it you get with one of the factions I have. It's a whole big swarm army, so you can practice on them until you get it right. So I had this one small guy that I wanted to get all the little details on just so I knew what I was doing, and then all the other ones, it was just like, okay, coat 1, coat 2, coat 3, done, you know?
Okay.
And then you take them, play with them. There's a store in Greenfield and Brookfield, I think, that I go to play sometimes. It's just been difficult in my schedule, but Yeah, it's a big thing.
So then what do you think about, like the action figures, because I collect Godzilla action figures. I'm a dork when it comes to that stuff. And, they have like Japanese exclusives where it's literally just the basic mold of, say, a $12 figure.
Yeah.
They dip it in essentially white paint or gold paint, and then they resell it for like $50. What do you think about that?
Well,
meaning like the actual people that make the toys, like the actual company, Bandai, they do this sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like 35th anniversary or whatever. Like, what do you think about all that?
People like collectibles are fun and everything, and the models I have are. I was talking to one of my friends, Dylan.
Yeah.
Where he's into the same thing as me, and the models are super overpriced. So, I just, especially since it's all plastic, I think it's dumb. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's warranted, but at least for your situation, those are like collector's editions, you know. But this is all stuff that you want to use.
I think they're absolutely stupid. Why not just get the actual figure for like 50% of the price?
Yeah.
And it has way more detail with paint. But
well, hold on, let me stop you there.
Yeah.
You get the original figure, you dip it in silver paint, gold paint, or whatever,
I see where you're going with this.
and resell it, repackage it, everything. Boom, you're golden.
Instant profit.
Right.
I had this idea earlier today, right, of a way to make easy money, okay? Here's how
we got one of these entrepreneurs, huh?
Well, not really. It's a bureaucratic thing.
Okay.
So I say that we get rid of all taxes. Okay? And we simply put a massive toll booth along a sidewalk in like New York, okay? People, if they want to get past it, they have to pay $5. You have armed SWAT guys surrounding it. And you have like, those like things that they have where they're like bullets, but they're like rubber? It's like they still hurt.
Oh yeah, the rubber
bullets.
bullets.
They won't like kill you. They just have those. And if you try to get past, they straight up just shoot you with the rubber bullets.
Yeah.
Bam. Easy money. We don't even need to pay taxes then. Because it's like people just coming through constantly and they all have to pay money.
Not to be political or anything, but I think that's new to me. We'd have to test this out. Area 51? Check.
I'm aware of it. I've been there. I've been in there.
You came out. You got rescued.
That's why I'm here. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Yeah. See, we got to experiment with that because I guarantee you a little tyranny in our American government system, and we'll be making bank.
One-party system that you're in favor with there, Joe?
Well, not necessarily. It's just that we have the toll party, right? And then everything else is normal. So
you're saying that in order for the House of Representatives to go in and vote, they have to pay a toll?
No. We're still keeping it to the one like back alley New York place.
But no, it's not a back alley. It's Times Square where they would have this.
Oh.
Because there's so much traffic, you got to pay the taxes somehow.
Okay. All right. Well, what? Okay. So, are we confident then that we can sufficiently suppress the population of New York City then?
I mean, they're already kind of suppressed.
Oh.
It's New York City.
Fair enough. I'm not.
I'm sorry. Was that your phone?
Oh yeah. Okay. Hey, hold on. This kid's reeing at me. Hold on. Let me just
Very
relax.
Professional.
Yeah. Thanks. Awesome. Dead air?
Yeah, dead air. So back to scrap projects. What have you made little board games or like? I mean, I'm sorry for saying little. I feel like a jerk right now.
Well, yeah. I mean,
they are little board games. Like,
we've talked about this before. Yeah. I have never finished a project for my board games at all, ever.
Okay.
And it's probably, since you do the filmmaking, I don't want to say easier, but I think to a certain extent it is, because this one you can film your stuff, edit it, which is obviously still a lot of work.
Yeah.
But you can get that out to the public and publish it really easily. The big thing I'm working on, I got to refocus. My big thing is motivation. I just got to refocus because I have this starting off package where it's all cards and it's like a spaceship fight war
I think
game.
I saw you working on this during Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Tech Week.
Yeah, I know I at least brought it up.
Yeah.
But the idea is we start off small with that because all that is cards and cardboard, so that's at least easy to produce, and then I can go from there. Mm-hmm. But right now, I think, at least in my head, because I'm the designer, I know if I were in the room with somebody, we could probably play through a whole game of it, right?
Yeah.
But I have to flesh out the units, and then after that, you have to make the rule book actually make sense, because you're not going to be in the room.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a total normie when it comes to this stuff, so I guess what I'm saying is there like an end game to it? Like for every filmmaker, it's getting it out there and getting people to see their movie, whether it's just friends and family or whether it's, a theater or, with you, what is your end game for this game that you're making? It's
sort of weird because it's a multifaceted passion project, because I have a whole universe, like sci-fi universe, for this game, and I wanted to release other games in that same universe.
Okay.
And there's also it's my username, Upguard. Yeah. I have this whole character laid out for him that I want to have tell his whole story, and maybe like a graphic novel is what I'm thinking, because I just can't deal with the novels. So
you're not really a writer, you're more of a illustrator, or like, what do you mean, like, with novels? Like,
because a lot of, like, when you're in English class, I'm reading Tale of Two Cities right now. I don't want to read all this.
Tale of Two Cities. I think you mean the most eventful book ever. It is on the same level of action as Avengers Endgame. The part where Thanos comes out and attacks France is my favorite part.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to respond to that, because I haven't watched enough Rick and Morty to comprehend what you're saying. But that would be my end goal. But specifically for the games, it's the same idea as get a game, publish it, and get it out there. That is without a doubt the first step. And then go from there.
How do you get it out there? Because you can obviously independently release movies. And I know that we're comparing two different medias here, obviously. So how would you get it out? Are there like companies where you pay them or they pay you?
What you would do is, I'm thinking, I really don't have the resources. I could definitely put some cash into this just to boost it off, but I think I would have to crowdfund it somehow, because I need an artist, chiefly an artist, and maybe an editor, although I'm mostly relying on my family for that, because they're kind of I mean, they're there, but definitely an artist for sure, because I have the general idea of how it's going to look. And the rest of that money would go into sending it to a printing company, and what they do is they take your designs or whatever and just print them onto the cards, and that's what they do. And you can even do like a prototype printing of it, so you can get a box, send it out to testers, collect data, and then finally finish the product, get the final printing, and release it.
All right, I gotcha. Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually. I didn't think that it was like that intricate, really. I mean, because I don't think I've even played any of these type of games before. I've played chess. I've played chess, and that's about it. I haven't really. So, I don't really know. It seems interesting. What is your favorite type of game to play then, regarding that?
Favorite type of game? I mean, obviously I like the ones with the models, just because, I mean, they look so cool.
Of course, there's eye candy to it, yeah.
Right. But I think the one I enjoy the most to play are these deck builder games, where the core concept is you have your starting deck, and it's just sort of like Magic, where you're trying to damage your opponent or whatever, if you know how that works. And as you're playing, you play cards to buy cards to get better cards and eventually win the game. And what's so cool about them is you can really sort of strategize and plan ahead. It's really cool to have a hand and then just play a card, keep drawing cards, and have this super massive master plan just unfold.
Okay. Do you watch much South Park at all?
No.
Okay, they did an episode where it was like these kind of games, and it was hilarious. It was so good. And so they had this thing where they had like a transgender athlete, and it was like just destroying everyone in these like like Olympics events.
Oh yeah.
And then goes in there against these like little elementary school girls who have been playing these kind of games, that you're describing, and they just fucking destroy the athlete who's this like, buff like Randy Savage type dude.
Yeah.
Like just ripped. And every time they just destroy her at it, and she's just like, "Come on!" Like just getting so mad. It's so funny. And so like the games that they mention are just so out there.
Yeah.
And you're reminding me of Kyle in that episode because Kyle is like, I think it might be Stan. I think it's Stan actually, where he's like, yeah, well, if you want to play, with models and you blah 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 blah, and you do this, and it's so funny. You got to check out that episode.
Okay.
Do you have like Hulu or something?
I got Netflix and Hulu.
Okay.
My dad is crazy about the streamer service.
Is he against it?
No, he's got
everything.
We got most of it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I wish we could cut cable and just go right to streaming services. Honestly. Netflix has been so-so with their original films. Would you agree?
I haven't really looked into them, honestly. Because usually, if I want to watch something, I'll just research it quick on IMDb to be like, okay, it's a 7 out of 10. It's not trash, at least.
Yeah. Because The Irishman, which is nominated for an Oscar, was made by Netflix.
Right.
And it's really good. I saw it. It was kind of slow in a few parts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to spoil anything, but it was an alright movie. But then you got stuff like The Kissing Booth, which is just a garbage movie.
Gotcha. All right.
That stuff is horrendous.
Oh.
It is just horrible. I hate the movie so much. What is the other one? Have you seen The Cloverfield Paradox?
No. I think I know what you're talking about, though. It's found footage, kaiju monster.
That's Cloverfield.
Okay.
So what happened with Cloverfield was it started out with J.J. Abrams saying, I want to make a Godzilla movie, but for Americans. And so then he went through and he made Cloverfield, right, which was found footage and everything. That's what you're thinking of. That came out in 2008. And then I think it was 2016, maybe? I don't know. But 10 Cloverfield Lane came out. And this was like the sequel, right? And everyone's like getting all excited. It had John Goodman in it. I saw it in theaters. I think it's rated R. I don't know. And I was really young when I saw it, but that was really good. But the Cloverfield monster wasn't in it, even though it was called 10 Cloverfield Lane. And so then I was kind of confused. And then and then Cloverfield Paradox comes out, and it's really only in there at the end. And so you're kind of wondering like, what the hell is going on? And what they did was they're doing like a Twilight Zone thing where each movie tells its own story.
Okay.
And it's kind of connected by this like event. But what's also shady is that it's really just they made this movie about these people in space. Let's buy the rights to it, edit it, and then make it into a Cloverfield movie.
Oh.
Yeah, so the Cloverfield Paradox wasn't even a Cloverfield movie. It was a movie called Shepherd. The ship is called the Shepherd. And then they literally just dubbed it over where they're like, we're on the USS Cloverfield, and they do stuff like that. And it's like...
What?
Yeah, it's bizarre. Because then when you watch it, you're kind of like piecing together like, I don't think that was there when they filmed it.
Yeah.
10 Cloverfield Lane was another one. It was called, I think, The Cellar or The Bunker. It's something like that. And it's a really good movie. And honestly, it doesn't even need the Cloverfield title. It really doesn't. It stands on its own. But I think they only called it that so they can get people in the theaters to see it.
Yeah.
Because it's such an obscure, weird movie.
Okay.
But you got to see 10 Cloverfield Lane. It's not found footage.
Okay.
None of them are except for the first one.
Gotcha.
But what's just weird is that J.J. Abrams wanted a movie like Godzilla, and yet he did this thing where he made an anthology where the monster like barely appears at all. Mm. It's just weird. They should have kept going with the monster. But yeah, Netflix has just been kind of iffy on their movies. Bird Box, have you seen that?
I know people shitted on it.
Yes. It was absolute garbage. I watched it with my girlfriend, and it was absolutely horrible. She loved it, of course, but I hated it, so we had to have that conversation afterwards.
The big thing, I watched that CinemaSins thing that you're probably aware of.
Oh, I hate them.
Oh, really?
Oh, God. Yeah, sorry. Carry on.
That's really, especially, yeah, that's really the only reason I know about Bird Box.
Mm-hmm. CinemaSins just doesn't have real criticism with their movies. even though they claim to be satirical, it's not really satire, and it's not really criticism either.
Okay.
It's just kind of mean-spirited. I'd recommend checking out, I forgot what it's called. I think it's like Cinema Wins.
Oh, yeah.
They're
I've
much
seen
better.
that one, too.
Yeah, because they actually, like, he's more positive and, you know, you get better things. Especially if it's a bad movie and he does one on it. Because then it's like, okay, cool, I'm not hearing the same dickbag shit on the same movie that's been shitted on, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think he did one for Last Airbender. I don't remember. You know, the M. Night Shyamalan one. And he actually found good things about it.
Okay.
Which I appreciate. I like when people do that. Because
Yeah,
not all films are completely terrible.
Right, yeah.
But Hulu is kind of iffy. I don't know. I only watch them for South Park. I don't really...
Oh.
I turn it on before bed and I'm out by the second episode. Just
Gotcha.
You got Disney Plus?
Yeah, Mandalorian.
Is it good? I haven't seen it.
It's, oh my god, dude, I was, it got brought up in conversation with my D&D buddies, and I was like, whoa, dude, it's the greatest!
Okay, because I heard it's really good. I know about Baby Yoda. And, you know, I know all about that, so...
The big thing, especially since you're really well-rounded and well-minded with the film thing. Yeah. I am not at all.
Okay.
But I watched The Mandalorian, and I was just like... Or, like, I remember talking to you about the
prequels?
Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, yeah, Rise of Skywalker.
And I was telling you how I was like, yeah, I enjoyed it. I had a smile on my face.
And I'm like,
yeah.
I fucking hated it.
Right, yeah.
I was on the ride home going, you know what? I would have done it for free, and I could have done a better job than J.J. Abrams. I was emotional, and I was wrong, okay? It takes a lot to make a big movie. No thank you. But, you know, I didn't really like Rise of Skywalker that much.
I definitely felt like it just could have been... Because this is the climax to everything. All of Star Wars.
We don't know that, though.
Well, you get what I'm saying, though. You get what I'm saying.
You, yeah.
It should have... It just didn't have that punch.
Like Return of the Jedi and Revenge of the Sith. Like,
yeah.
Those had punches to them, like... You know, I mean, it's a kind of a movie, but Revenge of the Sith, you know, like with Darth Vader being created, and
yeah,
and he walks up and he's staring at the Death Star with the Emperor, and then it kind of like, you know, does that circle thing and it fades out, like
right.
Perfect ending, you know. Return of the Jedi with the Ewok music, dude.
Yeah, it's a good celebration.
It's a good song too. I love that song. But it felt odd. And especially considering all the behind-the-scenes drama that's come out about it.
Yeah, I've just sort of seen that.
Especially with John Boyega and Oscar Isaac calling out Disney.
Really?
You know about that? Yeah, they called them out on Twitter or something. And one of them, I think even the dude that plays as Bucky in Avengers, Sebastian Stan, I think that's his name, he called out Disney in some like retweet. Like he retweeted some like anti-Disney post. Mm-hmm. And it was just bizarre. So I don't know what's going on, but it's pretty crazy. I just thought there were just a lot of dumb moments in Rise of Skywalker. And it's like they were just trying to make a sequel to Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Instead of a sequel to Last Jedi.
My brother Harry, who is much more well-minded with the like, he went to school for acting and everything at Marquette.
Okay.
He, his sort of big summary, my family is super Star Wars nerds. We're that whole our consume product thing.
Oh, yeah.
we still love Star Wars.
Of course, yeah.
But his big thing was, he said that J.J. Abrams was just trying to do what he wanted to do if he was doing Last Jedi. And he just put two movies together. And
they should have either had it where it was like, Rian Johnson, you can make 789, or J.J. Abrams, you can make 789. And I know that the intention was to have different directors for each movie. That's what they did with the original trilogy. But that's because George Lucas didn't want to make the original trilogy. He'd made Star Wars, and he's like, okay, I'm done. Who wants to make the next one?
Right.
So he had Irvin Kershner, who was like his hero, come on to make it.
Yeah.
You know that he asked David Lynch to make the Return of the Jedi?
No.
Okay. Do you know who David Lynch is?
Not at all.
All right. He made a movie called Eraserhead, and he made a show called Twin Peaks.
I know about Twin Peaks.
Okay. How just bizarre and off the wall it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Later today, after, you know, this whole thing, you gotta watch this video of David Lynch talking about when he got lunch with George Lucas. The whole time he's like, I just had the biggest headache. He kept talking about Wookiees. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I just wanted to go home. And it was so funny with the way that he describes it. Because he makes just like bizarre movies. You know?
Right.
But honestly, I wish that Disney would not be so afraid to take risks. Like, I mean, you're not that good at film, but, you know, like with knowing about, you know, film stuff, you know?
Right.
But, like, I would love a Star Wars movie made by John Waters, who made a movie called Pink Flamingos, if you know what that is. He made Hairspray, if you know Hairspray, too. Because I know that we're both in drama, so we should know. Do you know Hairspray?
Dude, you have no idea how...
You don't know Hairspray?
No, I don't.
Joe!
I'm uninformed.
Ugh. But anyways, I just think that they should hand it off to, like, more weirder directors. And, I mean...
Yeah, Star Wars is such an like, we were talking about how...
But is it really, though?
Disney was saying that Star Wars isn't...
Yeah, how
like,
they're saying that there is little source material to go off.
But Star Wars is such a big, expansive thing. You could do anything with it.
But the thing is, though, is that our mainstream audience is going to go see a Knights of the Old Republic.
Like, yeah, that's still... I think...
I don't...
If they did Knights of the Old Republic, though, that is still definitely
I want
Star
a movie
Wars.
that's Knights of the Old Republic. I'd actually see it, even though I hate Disney, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like people really know X-Wings and TIE Fighters, you know?
Right.
It's like, I don't know. I feel like Disney should really shake things up. But then again...
The Mandalorian...
Did they shake it up?
Yeah, because it was like a Wild West Star Wars. That was my big vibe with it.
That's what I heard about it, yeah.
What I really want is, you know, the game Republic Commando?
I'm familiar with the Commando Stormtroopers, obviously.
Yeah, they're like this super... They're like the Delta Force super epic badass.
Like the Alphas, yeah, I got
Yeah.
you.
What I really want is like a legit Star Wars war movie. Like, it's in the style, it's like gritty Vietnam style sort of thing.
Well, they wanted to do that with Rogue One. You know that,
yeah,
right?
They
filmed it, and they even edited a whole version that was really gritty. And then Disney was like, we are going to scare the small children. What? So they went back and they did reshoots. That's why they fired Gareth Edwards, and then they did reshoots.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Solo, and then with Solo, a Star Wars story, which I thought was actually pretty good.
Yeah, me, my brothers, and my dad saw it, and we were all like, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. I just wish that Disney would just let the directors have their vision.
Yeah.
You know, because they fired the directors after 99% of the movie was filmed. I know. And the reason why was because they weren't serious enough. They were doing too much improv.
Okay, and?
Exactly. Especially when you hire Phil Lord and Chris Miller. They're the guys that made 21 Jump Street. And they made, I believe they did. And they also made, I know they made the Lego movie.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to check right now if they did 21 Jump Street. I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah, but you're on your phone though, dude. I'm not sure.
Well, I got to make sure. Okay?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
all right.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller made 21 Jump Street, yeah. But speaking of 21 Jump Street, man, Jonah Hill, you know who that is? You don't know who Jonah Hill is?
Don't, dude, I'm serious.
How are we supposed to have... Okay.
I don't know anything, dude.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, though. Okay, well, let me put this in a way that you might get. Jonah Hill, have you seen the movie Superbad?
That was the kids being... screwing around, right? I feel like...
That's the McLovin movie with the fake ID.
Oh.
You've never seen it? Okay, we gotta watch it. I'm gonna show it to you because it's hilarious. I quote it all the time. I don't think you know that I quote it.
I probably don't.
But anyways, yeah, Jonah Hill's in that one. Jonah Hill's always kind of played as like, you know, the fat guy in Hollywood, which I think is a total unfair label that people give him.
Yeah.
He just released a movie called Mid-90s. Not really just. I think it came out 2 years ago, maybe a year. As of 2020 February, I think it was about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And it was his directorial debut. He wasn't in it much. I don't think he wasn't in it as an actor. Sorry, but he was the director and the writer.
Okay.
And it came out, and people were like, "Holy shit, this guy can actually make a good movie. Like, it's really good." It kind of taps into the nostalgia that J.J. Abrams tried to kind of tap into with Star Wars.
Okay.
But his was more like with the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay. And I feel like nostalgia in movies is kind of going that same way, where it's like, you know, hey, you remember this? Remember Ponda Babu from Star Wars? Remember the dude with the butt face who said, "You'll be dead"? Remember him? He's back now, guys. So it's like, you know, I feel like you can do it right, you can do it the wrong way. Right way is with mid-90s, you know, where it's like, he's wearing a Street Fighter shirt. We're not really going to acknowledge it. We're not going to go, "Hey, I like playing Street Fighter." You know, like, we're just going to be kind of chill about it, you know? Or you can just do J.J. Abrams. "Here, Chewie, here's a medal."
I honestly did kind of like like that whole thing just
I
because.
did too, but there were just too many moments of it.
Oh,
If
okay,
that
I
was
see
it
what
for
you're
fan
saying.
service, I'd be like, okay. But Palpatine didn't need to be there.
No, he didn't. He didn't. He's dead. In my mind, that guy's dead.
I don't consider 7, 8, 9 to be canon. The only reason I somewhat appreciate them is because of Adam Driver's Kylo Ren. He kills it. He's phenomenal as Kylo Ren. I love him.
See, you know what really bogs me down is before I went to see The Rise of Skywalker, I wanted to watch The Force Awakens, but with all the negative stigma, I didn't think I even watched it or got really into it.
Yeah.
But I feel like all the negative stigma, I was just like, the magic isn't there, too, you know?
With The Force Awakens?
Yeah, because when The Force Awakens came out, everybody was like, yeah, this is cool. It's not really original, but it was awesome.
All right, I'm going to disagree. I actually love The Force Awakens. I still think the magic is there because J.J. Abrams, he's good with setting up stuff, just not executing them. So,
like I said, I didn't get around to actually watching it.
When's the last time you saw it? When it was in theaters?
It was probably at least a year ago.
Okay. I think I saw it maybe in like December because I always rewatch them all before I go see the new one.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And I was like, this is phenomenal. It's what I want. Because when Han Solo and Chewie enter the Millennium Falcon,
that was cool.
Chewie were home. Oh, God, I love it. It's so good. But now here's another hot take, okay? I don't consider these movies canon. I consider them the same way that Legends went, right? It may have happened. You know, Disney's going to do that to my EU. I'm going to do that to their movies. Okay?
Yeah.
I consider Rogue One canon, and I consider Solo a Star Wars story canon, okay?
Yeah.
I don't like 7, 8, 9, right? As a whole. As
right.
individual movies, minus Rise of Skywalker, I think they're pretty good.
Yeah.
The only thing with Last Jedi that I don't like is the execution of it. Because they're really good ideas. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker is this Jedi who just doesn't care anymore. I like that. He just didn't do it good. It was pretty bad. The whole, I just felt like the comedy was too bad in that. Like it was just like your mom, haha, and then attacks, Star Destroyer. I was like, okay, that's weird. I don't know. I feel like the big problem with this trilogy though is that it feels like it's two people fighting over something, meaning J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson. Yeah. And I just wish that the trio, right, Poe, Finn, and Rey were together more often.
That I totally get by that. My whole thing is that just on a whole, the whole trilogy, it had a factor where it was just missing that one little thing, like Rise of Skywalker, that's A New Hope, or whatever, or The Last Jedi was Empire Strikes Back in reverse, and then Rise of Skywalker
I didn't even notice that it was Empire Strikes Back in reverse. I kind of feel dumb, but the throne room scene was just done twice in the trilogy. Remember at the end of Return of the Jedi with Palpatine, Vader versus Luke? That happened twice in this new trilogy. With Last Jedi with Snoke and Kylo versus Rey, even though Kylo ends up killing Snoke, and then they do it again with Rise of Skywalker. And you can nitpick these movies all day long, right? Right. But I doubt that with Kathleen Kennedy in power, they are not going to have a good Star Wars movie, like an actually good one that's on the same level as the OT. They just won't. I would have liked an Obi-Wan show because
did it get canceled?
It got canceled.
Oh, really?
Canceled, yeah. That's what I heard. I'm pretty sure it still is, but I don't know. It's a shame. It really is. But granted, though, with Obi-Wan, what can you do? He's on Tatooine the whole time. Yes.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking. It's like you really can't do much with that.
You know what I would love? I would absolutely love. Now, this may be controversial because I do like the original trilogy a lot. What if they do something where where Holdo, blew through the two ships? Yeah. What if they did a thing where it's like, oh, here's an alternate timeline where we're just going to remake the movies, but instead, like they can do the thing where it's like, have you read the comic where the Death Star doesn't blow up?
No.
Where Luke
messes up? That sounds really cool, though. Is.
So they do this whole alternate thing where Luke Skywalker, he fires the Death Star thing and it doesn't blow up. And he's kind of like, oh shit. And they like fly off, And what ends up happening, it gets batshit crazy. Do you want me to spoil it for you?
Go ahead. I
Okay.
am super interested.
So what happens is Luke and Han kind of go off to Hoth, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, we need to like lay low. Where do we go? And then
Oh, so Yavin's dead? It's just Luke and Han's?
here's the thing though, Princess Leia managed to survive because they got off in an escape pod. Same as 3PO and like a few others.
The
R2
main
as well. The main
crew.
cast are still alive. Okay, so Chewie, Han, and Luke go off to Dagobah.
All right.
All right, and they meet with Yoda, and Yoda trains Luke to defeat Darth Vader because now Yoda's like, oh shit, you fucked up. So he's like, I'm gonna teach you, and you're gonna be the best Jedi ever. It's like, okay, Han gets bored and he leaves. He goes off and does a smuggling thing while trying to lay low because he is, still an enemy of the Empire.
Right.
So Leia gets captured by Vader around the time of like Empire Strikes Back, right? And he essentially is like, let's rule the galaxy together. And he's like, you've lost everything. Let's just do it. And she's like, okay. So because the people of the rebellion love her so much, they start to follow the Empire.
Okay.
And it's pretty much like everyone just against Luke and Han and Chewie.
That's cool as fuck.
So what happens is, and this is where it gets batshit insane, Yoda is like, okay, Luke, I'm coming with you to destroy the Death Star. And we get like the prequel Yoda in a way. So
Right.
Han comes back with Chewie after like 4 years. Luke is like straight just OP Jedi. Like
Yeah.
he's on the level of like Starkiller from like Force Unleashed.
Yeah.
Okay. And he goes in there and he has like they go in there and all these stormtroopers that they're about to shoot them, they're like, oh, we already fucked up. We just landed. And Yoda's like, you'll show us where the reactor or where the control thing is for the Death Star. And they're like, they all just go, okay.
What?
Yoda's so powerful. And they go to the Death Star control thing. And Yoda's like, Luke, Han, Chewie, go down to Coruscant, which is where the Death Star is kind of hovering over. Because they do this thing where it's like, we're celebrating the greatness of the Empire by having it eclipse the sun.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so then they're down there, and Luke has a spare lightsaber. I don't know where he got it from. I think it's his own that he made.
Okay.
And he still has his old one, obviously. And so he goes and he confronts Leia. And Leia, I think, fights him because she's also... I don't know if she's a Jedi, though, or like a Sith. I don't know.
Probably.
I think she's just like an officer in this version. I don't know.
Okay.
And so anyways, Luke eventually turns her around, and they fight Vader, right? And I think they actually kill Vader. There's no like redemption arc for Vader. Okay?
He just straight up gets it.
They kill it because they just kind of overpower him, right? And then I don't remember what happens, but the Emperor's also there. And he's like, Luke, you lost. Just get over it. And then all of a sudden over the intercoms, Yoda's just kind of like, hey, Emperor, remember me. And he drives the fucking Death Star into Coruscant, and he just kamikazes himself. Yoda does. And he kills the Emperor, he kills Grand Moff Tarkin, he kills everyone, and Luke, Han, Leia, and Chewie all get away, and the galaxy's restored. And that's how that version of the trilogy ends. That's a comic series, and it was so good.
That sounds... How old is that? Because...
Pre-Disney by a few years.
Okay.
Like, judging by the art style, I think it's like 2005, maybe.
That's one of the coolest things I've heard.
Yeah. So if Disney did something like that was like a parallel universe thing, oh my god, man.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't. They wouldn't, though, because that's too ballsy
No.
for them. So, I don't know. Because what shows have actually, or movies, whatever, video games even, handle alternate universes well? Has there been one?
For like Star Wars
For
specifically?
anything, any franchise.
I'm trying to think. Not like, well, because I feel like most things they just keep to the one continuity,
Right. I feel like Star Trek did it pretty well. Are you a Star Trek fan?
I know it through my mom.
Okay, I'm kind of basic at it, but the J.J. Abrams ones, kind of like.
So they have like this one timeline and then another timeline.
Yeah, and then they end up meeting the Spock from the OG timeline.
Oh, the recent ones.
Yeah, the recent ones. Yeah, with Chris Pine. Though that handles it pretty well, I think.
Yeah, that one is pretty solid.
Yeah. I think Rick and Morty handles it kind of well with like that one episode where it just keeps duplicating. Have you seen that one?
I have not watched Rick and Morty.
They do this thing where it's like they have like each time where something happens, you're either like, let's say for example,
like multiverse theory sort of deal.
Yes, kind of. Where Rick creates this device where it like creates another version of that timeline where something slightly different happens, and each time something slightly different happens, another one is made. So let's say I were to pick up the Snapple bottle in the universe where I didn't pick up that Snapple bottle. I just left it sitting there.
Yeah.
Another one would be created then where I, kind of like reached for it halfway or something.
Yeah.
And then there's literally like 12 of these things on the screen all happening at once.
Mm-hmm.
And then he does this thing where he's like trying to like shoot the other timeline on the screen. And he's like, oh my god, they're shooting at us, Morty. And it's so funny. I feel like that works pretty well with like alternate timelines because there are a lot of like parallel universes and stuff. Back to the Future did pretty well too.
I don't even think, because like the way I see it, especially with Star Wars, again, I said it's super expansive.
Yeah.
You don't even really need an alternate timeline. You just need a different date.
That's fair.
Like as you said, do it super far out
back so that nothing can affect it.
Yeah.
So, because like, man, I want that movie where it's like 50 Sith fighting like 50 Jedi and they all like collide with each other. Like that's what should have been Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Have Rey train a bunch of dudes and chicks, and aliens and shit, and have them all just fight Siths. Because there were all those Siths by Palpatine.
Yeah.
And if you wanted Palpatine still alive, I would have been okay with that if you had that giant fight.
Yeah.
But
Palpatine, he didn't do shit.
Yeah, or at least make him like a Force ghost or something, Palpatine.
Yeah.
Just so it doesn't kill Anakin's whole thing. But what about time travel in Star Wars? Think they could ever do that?
I don't see. Here's the other thing: is I bet you because the EU was so crazy.
I bet they had something.
They probably had alternate universes and time travel and everything.
Had something that was like Chewbacca and Han Solo crash land on Earth, and Han Solo dies, and then it's like in the 1700s or whatever.
Oh.
And then Chewie ends up becoming like a Bigfoot, because he's so old, he manages to outlive, and then he runs into Indiana Jones. That's a really cool one. And there's this moment where Indiana Jones goes into the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon and he finds Han Solo's corpse. It's kind of weird, but it's like a skeleton,
Yeah.
And it's a weird moment, but it's still kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's Harrison Ford. But I'm pretty sure that was fan-made. I don't remember what it was. But
that's probably fan-made,
I'm assuming so. But it is Lucasfilm, so they could do it, within their rights. But going back to like scrap projects, though, I mean, I've done so much stuff growing up. With scrap stuff. And a lot of it ends up being recycled, like I told you earlier today.
Right.
Into other stuff. So, like, really I started out with making my movies with little short stop motion things that were like a minute long.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'd buy Bionicles.
Right.
And I'd only build the framework of that Bionicle. And then I would form clay around it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would like harden the clay and be like Play-Doh. And it would harden around them so that it would still, it'd be like its own action figure, essentially. It feels really gross, but it's still like an action figure. Mm-hmm. And then I go out and I make that movie, And it was pretty cool, but I was stupid and I would have like super misleading thumbnails. Right? Like, for example, I made one. It was my first ever real movie. And it was called Hiryu the Fire Dragon. Hiryu is Japanese for, it's a combination of fire and dragon. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, cool, I'll just do that. And then I end up just doing this stupid thing where it just kind of like shuffles its feet because I couldn't really lift up the legs. So it just like kind of moonwalks around and just punches tanks. It was really stupid. And I had it fight a toy dinosaur thing that I had too.
All right.
But, after that, then I kind of got more into like fake trailers. You know what I'm talking about? Like fan-made trailers for like movies and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun because I'd always get a ton of views. I literally just took the Rise of the Planet of the Apes trailer and I just literally put text over it in Windows Movie Maker saying the one and only Ivan. And then I had the one and only Ivan fan-made trailer. And that was, I think, 3rd grade. So it's okay if these are stupid because, it's who cares?
Right.
But I think my real first actual thing that I did was a really shitty movie called End of Sanity. That was a zombie movie, which is funny because we're working on a zombie movie.
Right.
And it was really bad. I mean, I thought it was the greatest thing ever, but I literally just reused footage from other zombie movies in the beginning as like a news broadcast thing. Mm-hmm. It was so bad, man. I would, like, you could see, like, because I bought this, like, cheap mask, and then you can see the strap of the mask on the person. Like, that's where we're at. I think I took that one down, but there was also, what was it? Wraith was another one that I made. That was just The Ring. It was literally, I watched this DVD, and then I become cursed, and then I have to die, or else unless I destroy the disc, then I'll die. And that was really stupid.
Right.
So that was one of the ones that I did. I did a mini series on my YouTube channel called American Urban Legends, something like that. was really stupid too, because it was just like those kind of, you know, dumb short films, but like each like a minute and a half long.
Okay.
And then I did the Cole show, and then I lost literally all interest in making movies at that point, because then I'm like, you know what? I don't have to try anymore. I can make bad stuff and people will like it. So that kind of just derailed me, and then I became super unmotivated to make anything.
Yeah.
I was going to make a movie called The Mothman Conspiracy, which if you Google my name, to this day, you'll still see the link for the Kickstarter.
Really?
Yeah, I put it out. There's even a video of me, and I'm wearing a fucking flat cap, like a Scottish flat cap in the video. And that was really funny. I think I got about $100 off of that. Out of like the $800 that I asked for, which is just ridiculous. Because all I wanted the money for was I wanted to buy a GoPro and a good mic. Mm-hmm. Even though I would need literally from what I wanted to do was just so much stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I would obviously need way more than just that. But I was still dumb. That was 7th grade, I think, when I did that. Maybe 8th. I think it was around beginning of 8th grade, end of 7th grade. And then again, I lost interest. And then I went back to making Cole show stuff. And for a while, Cole show stuff was just kind of like, I'm going to have fun with friends. You know, do really stupid things. Like, did you see, I don't know if you've seen any of the, you know, the videos.
I've seen a few of them, but I can't remember.
Did you see the one where I tried to do a front flip over my bed?
No.
Okay, I tried to do that, and I literally bounced off the bed, and I slammed neck first onto the ground.
Oh!
And I just slammed right into a speaker, and all these CDs that I had on my shelf just like fell onto me. And I was just laughing maniacally the whole time because it was the funniest thing ever, and I got it all on camera. My brother's like behind the camera, like, "Oh my God, Cole, are you okay?" It was so. I mean, the video's really funny because I just left it in. You know, I don't even think it was like. Oh no, it was related to everything else. Because see, all that was just a blur for me because every one of them is just the same in my opinion. But eventually, I just kind of like lost interest, and I don't know. I might make something that's like a grand finale, but they're all off the internet now. So
all of them.
Yeah, all of them are gone now just because I'm not proud of them. And I don't know, I might put them up sometime. I don't know, but they're just kind of private right now.
Yeah, they're there.
Drive in my room too.
Okay.
So it's like
those will become valuable, man. You
oh God, I hope not. But I'll get canceled on Twitter. But yeah, no, they were fun to make though. I'll give them that.
Gotcha.
Like, it was a lot of fun. My favorite ones were the ones where it's me and Caden in the park, just like having fun, just filming.
Yeah.
Because those were like, you know, you're just like in public with your friends, just being dorks, you know. And
yeah.
It's hilarious. But during that though, I would try to actually make real movies. Mm-hmm. I tried to make a Star Wars fan film, and that was I had to take place on Hoth, but I filmed it down there, and there was a lot of snow, but you could still see the trees. And Hoth doesn't have any trees, so I gave up. But I did do model work that was pretty cool, where I had like, you know, a massive like action figure of like a ship. And I literally just took it and just went bam into the snow. Oh. And then I filmed it like it was like wreckage. Gotcha. So it looked pretty cool. I just didn't have any like means to actually have characters. So that's where that was. I also, what else did I do? I kept trying to make this movie called Night Stalker. That was about this guy that just gets like stalked by this like weird thing in a robe. Pause. So carrying on with that, yeah, it was just about this guy who gets stalked by this other thing in like a robe. Yeah. And I had this like plain white mask, and that also went by the name of Wrong House too. That one I announced I think freshman year, because my friend Daniel was gonna help me out with that, and yeah, that was really weird. And then after, you know, I kind of like got into the, you know, after I was kind of out of the Cole show, yeah, I'm like, I want to make some music. And so,
yeah, I do remember that. I remember listening to one of your albums that I thought was pretty solid. Actually.
Was that the
Solaris?
Oh yeah, Children of Solaris. Yeah, that was off of Zardos, which is like a side project that I just make weird stuff with. Okay. Just like, hey, I'm gonna play with the synth for an hour and then just kind of like make it into a 2-minute song.
You know? I think it was the main song and one other song that I thought were like actually pretty.
I'm trying to remember, but I know that like. Because I literally made that in like 3 days. I was just like, I want to make something. I'm bored. And so then I just, you know, got it all done. Yeah. But that was really cool. That was fun to make. You know, but it's hard for me to make music now because it's like, you know, I was in Haxon, which is a band that I was in with Daniel, and I was with Wyatt. Yeah. And we made 3 EPs and 2 albums. And those are really hard to find now. I was stupid and I didn't back them up. So they're
Gotcha.
somewhere on the internet, somewhere on SoundCloud and on YouTube. I remember somebody actually reposted one of the albums and I got all pissed. And, but then like they still kept the credits and everything. They just did it under their YouTube channel.
Okay.
And I'm like, whatever. I was pissed, but now I don't really care because we're not together anymore. But me and Daniel still talk. Wyatt, kind of, but he's cool though. But eventually, then it was just Wyatt left, and then it was me doing the drums, me doing the bass, me doing the keys, me doing the vocals, and me doing the production. And Daniel was just playing guitar, which was just kind of getting hard because we were just kind of jamming for literally 3 hours, and then I'd have to go and splice everything all together.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh god. So we were gonna make one more album, do like a trilogy, and then we'd be done.
Yes.
And I don't think we ever made it because the second album, literally, I think we spent about 1.5 years recording it.
Really?
Yeah. We had so many different takes for the album. I mean, there's a song that we had in there that didn't even make the cut called Sleep Paralysis. That literally, I think I have about 20 versions of it. Like, I don't have it personally because I deleted all of them, but I made like 20 different mixes with like each different.
That does sound familiar, I think.
And so that one was like very screamy and like very like punk because that's what it was. And eventually we just kind of stopped talking about the band. It was like, yeah, I guess we're done now. It kind of sucked, but whatever.
Yeah, that just happens.
And then I did Zardos, and then now I'm in Phantom Lake with Naya. And
Is that the official name?
I'm assuming so. Yeah, we haven't really found a better one. We're hoping to get a drummer with Ethan. Luke's not in it anymore, so my friend Ethan might. I asked him. I don't know if he's in it yet or not. Okay. If not, then we're gonna keep looking. But that's like, I don't know. I hate when you compare bands with other bands, but it's kind of like Can, if you know they are. They're like a jam band.
Okay.
And like Black Sabbath. So it's like kind of like heavier stuff, but we just kind of come up with, doodles of songs and we just kind of go off of it. But it's a lot of fun to just kind of jam, especially because it's Dylan and Naya. They're such characters.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic musical kind of like collaboration.
Right.
That it's just a lot of good stuff is coming out of it.
It's flowing.
It's flowing, man. We're hoping to maybe do gigs by summer, but we don't know yet.
Okay.
So it's
summer. Yeah, Summerfest. You could, if you really have your act together.
We hope so, but it'd probably be summer 2021 that we do it because you got to register by November. We haven't registered yet, so we at least want to be more established when we do it, and I guess all that stuff. But
yeah, Milwaukee is a good place for that.
Yeah, I've been trying to make a solo project for years, like literally since like 2016. But I don't know. I just have to have a good idea come soon. I mean, there's always an album that I wanted to make called Space Mountain that's named after the Disney ride, which I'd probably have to rename because of copyright. But it's like The Wall, where it's this dude who ends up deciding to go off and to build a rocket in his backyard and then fly up into the sun. And it's just kind of like a weird kind of concept album that I've always wanted to make. But I'd have to make it at the right time, in my life when I actually have a real... kind of like backing band that's recording.
The power.
Yeah, you gotta have the power to it. But I've had a lot of feature films and short films that I've had never see the light of day.
Yeah.
That I've made songs to that I've made, never even consider them anymore. I'm done.
Gotcha.
I
think
it was Tommy Lee from Motley Crue that said, "You're never really finished with a song. You're just kind of done with it," which I agree with. I'm sure you can agree with that too with Models too.
Yeah. I think.
You just kind of abandoned it at some point.
I'm not exactly. I don't know. Because there is... For me, I remember watching something. It was like an actual... Just sort of a... There's this guy on YouTube called the Tabletop Minions, and his whole...
Him. Yeah.
Yeah, I met him because I went to some like small little sort of convention.
Yeah.
Not that I got to know him.
Yeah.
But his whole thing is the painting of the models and everything. And one of the things, I didn't watch it all the way through, but basically the video was, you got to just be like, it's done, So I guess I sort of see where you're saying, but I think for me at least, a lot of things have a very definite end. Obviously nothing's going to be perfect, but everything...
I get that, yeah. And, we're working on that movie, Another Day Closer to the Sun. You know, I'm hoping to have it cut together by March. That's my goal, like end of March, right? And I know that that's going to be the first cut, but I'm going to go back and do reshoots, obviously. You know,
Yeah.
that's part of the process.
Right.
And, you know, because I'll be there and I'll be like, I don't like that shot. You know, I'm going to go back and film it. But the problem is that a lot of this is like, you know, for example, like right now, I can't reshoot it because there's snow on the ground. And we filmed it when there's no snow on the ground, so what do? You know, and it's just a lot of like, it's a waiting game right now where it's like, okay, I'm not outside this scene, so I'll go and film it and make sure that it's perfect. You know, but it's like, I know that I want to go back and reshoot certain things, you know, obviously.
Yeah.
Like the opening shot of, you know, of the movie I want to reshoot. Just because I don't like the way that it looks and everything. It's too overexposed, you know, but then you got to get to a point then where it's like, I'm being too picky.
Right.
You know, and that's just, because then it'll ruin it if you just keep going back and changing stuff, because then the magic's gone. And it's like, wow, I'm watching a movie where this was filmed in 2019, that was filmed in 2020, and that was filmed in 2022. You know, I do not want that to be me.
Exactly.
So
it's got to be done, you know?
And, you know, you got movies like, what was it? I think Brick by Rian Johnson. We talked about him, you know, he made Last Jedi. I think it was his first movie, and I think they filmed it in literally like 4 days.
Really?
You know, yeah. And then you got movies like Eraserhead by David Lynch, like we also talked about, that took 3 years to film. So it differs, you know. Now, granted, Eraserhead is a better movie than Brick, but on many levels. But again, though, it's like you have to find a midpoint. For me, what's too long is when it's a year. When you've been working on a project for a whole year, you know, like I keep a log of like when I started filming this movie, right? And that's December 23rd. If I'm still working on this movie by December 23rd, I'm in big trouble.
All right.
Because that's way too long for me. Now, that could just, you know, be something about who I am as a person, you know? Maybe that's rushing it, but I don't know. Like, what's the longest you've ever spent on something?
Like I said, I haven't really finished any projects because of my lack of sort of dedication to them.
Yeah.
So I've been working on the game and the universe and the Upguard character for pretty much my entire life and haven't published anything.
Okay.
So my big thing is I do have to get in that mindset of finishing something eventually, and that I could probably get done, because when I get honed in on something, I am very honed in.
Yeah.
But I need that spark of big brain. Yeah.
The thing with me is that I'm afraid of being judged by other people, which shouldn't be a problem for me, because it's like, you know, I'm just worried that, like, you know, you see kids at our school, not gonna name names, that make like crappy SoundCloud songs.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously you just laugh. I don't want to be one of those people.
Right.
You know, that makes a movie and then they're like, this dude made a movie and it's garbage, you know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of part of that fear that kind of, it drives me and yet it holds me back too.
Gotcha.
You know, because obviously I don't really care what they have to say, those people that, you know, would make fun of me, but then it's like, you know, because I don't think anyone would dare to make fun of me. I'm 6'8". You know, I can just slip on
You
them.
can just beat the shit out of them.
But, you know, it's a matter of like, you know, I want the people that respect me, you know, that I respect, to like it back.
Right.
You know, and that's just what I'm worried about. And so, you know, obviously when I finish this, I'm going to be really proud.
Yeah.
I think with what we just filmed today is really good. So it's only going to get better. And who knows, I might just go, hey, you mind if we just like reshoot something really quick? And then it'll probably be from like here. But, you know, the last thing I want to do though is just be like, hey, Joe, I know that you're graduating. You want to go back and refilm something? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, like, you know, do that. But it's just, it's really interesting so far with what I've experienced, because it's almost like this big boom of, like, all these movies that I'm making now that I'm done with the Cole show and I'm kind of taking somewhat of a break on music, that it's like, wow, I can actually make short films now. You know? And Firewood, my first short film in years, I think, is doing pretty good in the views. It's got about 100, I think.
Okay.
And that's all right for me, you know? It's 100 people saw it.
There you go.
0 dislikes. So, I guess that's just what matters. So, running on to the last 2 questions of the podcast. Joe, have you seen any movies recently?
Oh, okay. No. Yeah, no. No, I wouldn't say. Nothing comes to mind.
It's Oscar season. Oscars are this Sunday.
I did want to see 1917. I have not gotten a chance.
It looks really good. I haven't seen it yet. It looks phenomenal. Like, for real. Like, the one cut thing, I'm a sucker for that.
Yeah, that...
You know? Where it's like, oh, yeah, we did most of this in one cut. Like, I love that, man. That's so cool. Birdman did that, too. That's from 2014. I love that one. But Uncut Gems was snubbed at the Oscars. That's one with Adam Sandler. I was telling you about how good the score was.
Okay.
That was phenomenal. That's like Adam Sandler's best movie, because it's not an Adam Sandler movie. He's under the direction of the Safdie brothers. Okay. Which, if I can describe the genre of their movies, it's just anxiety. Literally, you're watching, you're like, oh God, like your palms are sweating, you know? They make intense movies. Okay. So that was really good. Irishman I loved. Joker I really liked. I hope Joker wins Best Picture. I know it won't. I bet it's going to be Irishman that wins.
I think, weren't the Oscars already out?
No. It's Sunday.
Oh, Golden it was Globes, just nominated.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Golden Globes, I think, were 2 months, or like, a month ago maybe? I don't know. But, yeah, so, next question. Video games. You play anything? What you playing?
Doom. I just finished Doom 4, Doom 2016, on hardest difficulty. Okay. In preparation for Doom Eternal. Because, yeah, in March, come the release date of that game, I'm going to be jamming out to some heavy metal and probably becoming a cultist.
Oh, God. I played the demo. I haven't actually played the game yet with Doom 2016.
Oh, dude, what the hell are you doing?
I'm so behind on it, man. Granted, though, I did play Red Dead 2. I got 100 on it. 100%.
Oh, yeah, I'm working on that.
I just sat down and I played it. I played story mode like twice now. Like, I'm so...
Yeah, I'm on my second playthrough. I want to try and get...
Maybe 3 times I think I played it. I don't even know. I've played it a lot. I know that for sure. Have you seen do you go on the PS4 website?
No.
Okay, because they have their stats out for last year. Yeah. I think it said like 249 hours of Red Dead 2. Yeah. And it said that, like, there was, like, a trend, and it was, like, every day that I'd be off of work, I'd be playing Red Dead 2 just on my mind. And that's why, because I would play it literally from, like, 6 until, like, midnight. Yeah. Like, I was addicted to that game. But I've been playing Red Dead 2. I'm playing Star Wars Battlefront 2. Yeah. I love that game. The new update is phenomenal. I heard it was terrible when it came out, so I stayed away. But it is really good now. BB-8 is amazing. You can play as BB-8 and zap people in the legs, and that is all I want from a game. And then I'm also playing Spider-Man PS4, which I beat 100% as well.
That one's...
it's pretty easy to beat 100%. But, yeah. It's still really fun. So, I think that wraps up this podcast. Episode 1, hoping to have more of the Joe and Cole versus the world. If you got this far in... I don't know how.
Yeah, this is... Holy shit, we've been going on for an hour.
Almost 3 minutes. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, yeah. See you around. Do good in the world.
Got any closing statements?
Do good in the world. Don't sin if you're Christian. And this is getting old. Goodbye. Bye. Bye.